He said Republican demands right now are unreasonable and must become reasonable in the next 24 to 48 hours. That doesn't sound like you're on the cusp of an agreement.
So let me just try to make a couple things clear on this. Actually, this started with the Biden administration saying that we need to do a national security package that has Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan, and the border. And then they immediately came out and said we need more than funding. In fact, the word they used as funding for the border is a tourniquet. We need a change in policy. We've responded back to that, say we 100% agree on it. We've got to be able to have a change in policy on this. Right now, the push and pull is really a political push and pull rather than as anything else. If I talk to just about anyone in the country outside of Washington, D.C., they would say the border is chaotic right now. We had the highest number of crossings of any September ever last September, the highest October ever, the highest November ever, and we had the highest single day just this last week. It is literally spiraling out of control. All we're trying to do is to say what tools are needed to be able to get this back in control so we don't have the chaos on our southern border.
Well, the president is asking for that $14 billion, as you said, but they separate funding from policy changes. But the president did say he's willing to make significant compromises on policy to fix a broken immigration system. He's signaling flexibility. So what is the problem?
So the problem is the administration is trying to be able to figure out how to be able to just slow down a little bit of the flow. We had 12,000 people, for instance, on Tuesday of this last week that crossed the border illegally. They're trying to figure out some way to be able to say, well, we'll do a few thousand less, but not actually stop the flow. Just to give you a perspective,
So what would stop
we've
the
had
flow?
more people cross illegally. Well, I would tell you a lot of things would. Let me just give you a context piece on this, though. You take any year during the Obama administration, we've had more people cross illegally just October, November, and December so far this year than we had in any year in the Obama administration. So this is not a matter of just let's turn it down a little bit. We've got to figure out how to be able to manage this. The first things first is asylum. Right now, people come in, say, I want to request asylum. There's so many people, and the cartels know it, and the smugglers know it, that they can throw thousands of people a day. There's no way to process that. And so it's years before they're processed, so they're just released in the country.
I thought
That
the White
becomes
House
a pull
was
factor
willing
for
on
more.
asylum to tighten those regulations.
Right now, we're actually screening about 500 people a day for asylum. A typical day in this last week was 10,000 people a day. Even if you double or triple, as the administration would say, well, let's just double the number of screenings we're doing. Now we're screening 1,000 people a day, and we're still releasing 9,000 people into the country. So that doesn't manage the actual issue. We've got to be able to figure out how we're going to manage capacity and what does it actually look like. As long as we're saying we'll screen 1,000 and then we'll release everyone else into the country, the cartels know that, and everyone coming will just pay the cartels, and they know they'll be released.
Okay. Well, I know you don't want to negotiate in public, but I want to talk to you about what you are actually proposing to fix the problem you're describing. So